If you're looking for 3 unconventional but absolutely delicious holiday cocktails that you may have never had before, then stay tuned because today's episode is just for you. Welcome to Cocktail Limelight. I'm your host, Erick Castro, and today I'm going to be sharing with you 3 of my original holiday cocktails that are perfect for spreading that holiday cheer. And since it's that time of the year for us to have a little bit of nog or maybe a hot toddy, today I thought I would share some cocktails with you that are a little less conventional, yet every bit as delicious. Now don't get me wrong, a hot toddy when made right can be an absolutely delicious cocktail. Yet so often, a lot of them are a little boring and not quite as delicious as you'd hope for. Which is why I invented this next cocktail called BABBO'S Toddy. And it's a blend of the Boulevardier combined with a conventional hot toddy. Whereas a more traditional hot toddy can be a little boring with, maybe some honey, some hot water, and bourbon. That doesn't mean that the template isn't right for experimentation, which is what this cocktail was built off of, except with the addition of cinnamon, vermouth, and a little bit of Italian red bitter. First, we're gonna start out with some piping hot water. We're gonna preheat our toddy mug. And although this step right here might seem unimportant, trust me, it's paramount to the overall quality of your cocktail. It doesn't take long, but you really wanna preheat your mug. That way it ensures that your cocktail stays warm that much longer. Otherwise, what you're doing is, once you add all the ingredients into the glass, if it's room temp, all of that heat is gonna be sucked into the glass itself and gonna drop the temperature of the cocktail prematurely. Just like you wouldn't strain a daiquiri into a warm coupe, the same philosophy applies when building a hot drink. Now that we have our glass nice and warm, we're ready to build our cocktail. First, we start out with 3/4 ounce cinnamon syrup, followed up with 1 ounce sweet vermouth, followed up with a 1/2 ounce of Campari. Now we're going to follow up the Campari with a 1/2 ounce of bourbon before topping the drink with piping hot water. Now let's give this a brief stir to make sure everything's well into solution before garnishing it with an orange slice. And there you have it, folks, BABBO'S Toddy. The traditional and classic Boulevardier cocktail, except recreated in the form of a hot toddy. Absolutely delicious, if I do say so myself. Now this next cocktail is a drink that I came up with for a holiday menu at Polite Provisions maybe about 10 years ago. It was created specifically for our very first holiday menu, and it's a riff on the classic Brandy Alexander. However, instead of using cognac or brandy in this cocktail, what I did was replace the spirit with a little bit of Branca Menta. For those of you out there who don't know, Branca Menta is a version of Fernet Branca, except a little bit softer and much richer with notes of mint. And when combined with the Crème de Cacao, the mint and the chocolate create this beautiful and decadent flavor that's perfect for the holidays. The drink is called the Peppermint Butler, and without further ado, let's go ahead and make one. To make a Peppermint Butler, first we start out with 1 ounce of heavy cream. In addition to 1 ounce of Crème de Cacao, followed up with 1.5 ounces Branca Menta. Now we're gonna be adding a bit of crushed ice to our tin before we give it a good shake to make sure that the drink gets nice and frosty and aerated. Now I'm gonna pour that mixture into a chilled goblet before topping it with more crushed ice or pebbles. Now that the cocktail is just about done, it's time to hit it with the garnish, and in this case, it's gonna be a bouquet of fresh mint. Let's go ahead and put that mint right there, tucked into the side of the glass. Now as for the straw, we're gonna go ahead and tuck that right through the mint so that when you take that first sip, you get hit with all those aromatics that complement the flavor of the cocktail itself. Ladies and gentlemen, the Peppermint Butler, an Amaro accented take on the classic Brandy Alexander. Cheers. You know what it tastes like? It tastes like those little chocolate mint candies that are in the green wrapper. I think they're called Andes or something. Like back in the day when you went to a diner or something and they brought your change, you had like a couple of them on your like receipt presenter. It tastes like one of those, except a little bit more delicious because it has those bitter Italian components that add depth and complexity. And also it has booze, so let's be honest, that's always gonna make it a little bit better. Damn. Now this last cocktail that we're gonna be making features apple cider alongside of Amaro and cinnamon syrup. In a way, it's almost like a michelada meets a spiced apple cider, except obviously loaded with copious amounts of holiday cheer. So let's go ahead and make one. To make a cinnamon girl, first we start out with 2 dashes of Angostura Bitters, followed up with 3/4 ounce lime juice, in addition to 3/4 ounce cinnamon syrup. But before we shake all this up, we're gonna add 1.5 ounces of Becherovka, which is an Amaro made in the Czech Republic. Now we're gonna go ahead and add some ice to our tin and give it a good shake. But before we strain this cocktail out, first, we're gonna top it with 3 ounces of apple cider. Now that we added the cider, we're gonna go ahead and strain this mixture into a Collins glass filled with ice. Now that we have this cocktail strained, it's just about ready to go. But before we send it out, we're gonna garnish it with some fresh grated cinnamon, as well as a fresh bouquet of mint. And there you have it, folks, the Cinnamon Girl, the flavors of apple cider paired with cinnamon and delicious, delicious Czech Amaro. Ooh, it tastes like Christmas. If I didn't know better, I think that I was riding shotgun with Santa as he was riding around the world delivering toys. Now there you have it, folks, 3 holiday cocktails that are perfect for celebrating that Yuletide cheer. Now, are there any other holidays out there that you'd like Cocktail Limelight to help you celebrate? If so, leave in the comments down below, and who knows, maybe it'll be featured in a future episode. And with that said, don't forget to muddle that like and subscribe button. And if you'd like to dive deeper into the world of craft cocktails, be sure to check out the Bartender at Large podcast, which I host on iTunes, Spotify, and anywhere else where quality podcasts are found. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we will see you again next week.